Huawei, in an event in Paris last night, launched the P20 series of smartphones. Yes, the cameras on these phones are absolutely nuts. Also, yeah, they do have a notch to the front. Let's talk all about them. Hey guys, Sundar here from C4E Tech, and before we get to the video, here's a card to our latest giveaway. I'll also leave a link in the description below. And while you're down there, do click on the bell icon to get notified every time a new video goes live on C4E Tech. The P20 as well as the P20 Pro share a lot of similar design cues. There's the curved glass design to the back. Huawei has decided to mix it up a bit with the P20 and P20 Pro, sporting iPhone X vertical camera alignments followed by the Leica and Huawei branding. And while I generally do not talk about colors, the gradient on the Twilight model has definitely left me impressed. We will talk more about those cameras later. First, let's turn our attention to the front, and obviously that notch. The P20 and P20 Pro both have a tiny notch up top where the cameras and sensors and earpiece are all bundled in. Underneath, we have a display with a resolution of 2244 by 1080 pixels. The P20 sports a 5.7-inch LCD panel, while the P20 Pro gets a larger and better 6.1-inch OLED display. At the bottom of the device, we have a chin, which houses the fingerprint sensor. What do you guys think about the design? Like it or not? Here's a poll, let us know. Let's now quickly run down the other specs. Both the P20 and P20 Pro sport the same HiSilicon Kirin 970 chip. The P20 gets 4 gigs of RAM while the P20 Pro gets a bumped up 6 gigs of RAM. Both variants come with 128 gigs of internal storage. We've seen the same chipset running the show in the Honor P20, and it should continue to perform really well in here as well. Powering all of this, you have a 3400 mAh battery on the P20 and a whopping 4000 mAh battery on the P20 Pro. Considering the P20 Pro is just 7.8mm thick and weighs in at about 180 grams, I'm seriously impressed by the amount of battery that Huawei have managed to cram into the device. And of course, to charge them up quickly, both the P20 and P20 Pro have support for Huawei Supercharge, the company's own take on fast charging. Let's now talk cameras. Now, prior warning, the P20 has a dual camera setup that's fairly normal, but the triple camera setup, yes, that's right, you didn't see something else. Those are indeed 3 cameras on the back of the P20 Pro. Well, that's something of an industry first, and they pack in enough features to make an entire hour-long video about them. But yeah, first back to familiar territory, the P20 sports a dual sensor array consisting of a 12MP f1.8 RGB camera coupled with a 20MP f1.6 monochrome unit. Now, this might seem familiar at first glance. The specs are kind of the same from the dual camera setup that we'd seen in the Huawei P10, but a lot has changed underneath the hood. AI has taken the forefront, and even though Huawei has gotten rid of OIS on the primary camera modules, there's AIS, or Artificial Intelligence Stabilization, which Huawei claims to work better than any hardware solution on mobiles. Speaking of AI features, the P20 also features a portrait mode, 3D portrait lighting like we'd seen previously in the iPhone X, and selfie portraits through the front 24MP snapper, and a lot more. There's something they call Master AI with 19 scene modes, color grading, and even framing, all possible thanks to the Neural Processing Unit or NPU inside the P20. Now, if you're already impressed by that, the P20 Pro is going to blow your mind. The primary RGB camera has a 40MP sensor with an f1.8 aperture lens. At 1 by 1.7 inches, the sensor is bigger in size than the sensors found on both the Galaxy S9 Plus and the iPhone X. Now, the secondary unit has a 20MP monochrome sensor with an f1.6 aperture lens. There's also an 8MP telephoto camera. Now, this combined setup of Leica lenses allows the P20 Pro to pull off some seriously impressive images, even allowing as far as 3x optical zoom and 5x hybrid zoom. As far as focusing goes, the P20 Pro features laser focus, depth focus, face detection focus, contrast focus, and for low light shots, it combines 4 pixels from the 40MP sensor into 1 pixel, leading to an effective pixel size of 2 microns, which means it can capture way more light than any other smartphone sensor can. This camera should be an absolute beast while shooting in the dark, especially because it can crank the ISO up to a whopping 102,400. Of course, all the AI features that we did mention for the P20 also make a comeback here, and so does the 24MP front camera. Coming to video, both these cameras are capable of 960 FPS slow motion video capture, which is capped at 720p resolution by the way, similar to what we have on the Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus. After all, you don't just walk away with scores of 102 and 109 from DxOMark without doing something pretty unique. Yes, the P20 Pro with 109 has scored the highest ever on DxOMark till date. Now all that remains to be seen when we finally get the devices in hand. Can it live up to all this hype? Let us know in the comments below. There is a lot to talk about these cameras, and if you would like to see us make full camera comparisons of the phones with current gen flagships, then drop us a giant like and leave a comment down below. Let's now come to software. Inside the Huawei P20 and P20 Pro, we have EMUI running the show based on Android 8.1 Oreo. Now, Google's partnered with Huawei for the P20 lineup, which means that these phones also come out of the box with support for AR Core, and the NPU inside the Kirin 970 provides an array of functions that Huawei claims are AI-driven. HiAI, as the company likes to call it, is the AI-powered features offered by the phone that includes face unlock, app optimization, and a few others. Now with all of that out of the way, let's finally get to pricing. We don't yet have Indian prices, but what we do know is that in Europe, the P20 is going for sale at €649, and the P20 Pro sells at a much higher €899. Now, Huawei during the presentation made it a point to note that the P20, at least in Europe, has been launched at the same price as its previous generation P10. Are you interested in picking any one of these up? Tell us which one in the comments down below. And let us also know what price you expect Huawei to release them in India at. If you too had your mind blown by the awesome camera hardware inside the P20 and P20 Pro, then share this video with everyone and let them know about the advancements in mobile technology. Oh, there's also a Porsche edition of the P20 Pro called the Porsche Design Huawei Mate RS. Jaw-dropping phone at an equally jaw-dropping price. Do let us know in the comments if you want us to make a video on that separately. If you hated this video, well, you know what to do, but if you did like it, then drop us a huge like, subscribe to C4E Tech, and click on the bell icon so that you get notified every time we upload a new video. This here is Sundar, leaving for the moment. You guys have a great day.